Now I have one final question for you. You
Okay.
you may already know it, but what advice do you have for any aspiring writers who want to break in and do it? I know you've answered it before, so if you want to think of a different, fresh way to answer it,
A
you can have.
fresh way. Well, I mean, it's the same advice I would give, to anybody at
Hmm.
a party, or to my mailman, if he asked. I think first of all, you have to finish what you start.
Hmm.
You can't know you can't know the value of your beginning until you get to the end.
Hmm.
And once you end it, you go, oh yeah, okay. Did these bookends work,
Hmm.
or am I somewhere completely different?
Hmm.
And now I've got to change the beginning. Very often, you
Hmm.
have to go back and change the beginning to
Hmm.
fit the end,
Hmm.
because it didn't quite resolve the conflict you thought it was resolving.
Hmm.
So that's something important. Don't be discouraged, despite you know whatever despite the world apparently conspiring against you. There is a possibility that you can still do this. Um, and I think writers have to apprentice themselves to established writers, and
Hmm.
by that I don't mean knock on their door and say, can I watch,
Hmm.
and can I type while I'm
Yeah.
here. It's not like that. But listen, if we were blacksmiths,
Hmm.
and you were a blacksmith, and I was an aspiring blacksmith, I'd say, can I help out? And you
Yeah.
go, yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
going to pay you, but
Yeah.
yeah, sure, of course. And if you were a carpenter and I wanted to be a carpenter, I'd say, can I, help out? Can I watch? And so you go, yeah, sure.
Mhm.
But there's something about writers. We're brought up and told in school not to plagiarize. Be original. Don't
Mhm.
plagiarize. I think that's the wrong advice. I think there's something to be said for aspiring writers trying to write like their writer heroes.
Mhm.
I admired a guy named Roger Zelazny, and whose work was exceptional, who won Hugos and Nebulas, and uh, um, he's probably best known for a series called Nine Princes in Amber, just extraordinary. And I wanted to be like him. And I have to say, the first three books I wrote for Warner were an homage
Mhm.
to him. At least they started out that way. They eventually kind of diverged a little bit, but they started out certainly as that. And if that's plagiarism, great. That's
I
okay.
and I don't
That's
think
okay.
I don't think that's the way to look at it. I don't think you're we all take influences from everything around us. It's like you say nothing's original and everyone's like, I have this great idea. It's like, oh, but this did that and that did that. So that's okay. Just finding a fresh way to do it,
Hmm.
and definitely paying homage to the people who've come before you is a really exciting thing, because that's what and that's what you can do, and you can see like this is what I would have done, and it's a way to kind of grow and see future generations tell stories in a different way.
Right. So I think aspiring writers should find somebody they like and try and write a story that writer might have written,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of grow that way. Now, eventually, you have to find your own voice, but I think we can take a lesson from blacksmiths and carpenters,
Mm-hmm.
and apprentice ourselves to people whose work we admire,
Yeah.
and ignore the second grade teacher who tells you, oh, well, that's plagiarism,
Mm-hmm.
right? No,
You're like, no.
it's not.
I love it.